Thanks. If you have walked outside or have a basic internet connection and can read, you've probably noticed that there is a lot of social and political turmoil going on recently. But in the midst of our terrible political climate, I believe it's important every once in a while to reconnect with the things that make us human and to practice what I call delicious self-care. So tonight, you have the distinguished honor of getting your portrait painted by yours truly. Now I have here some paint, some wine, a candle, and an easel, and I am going to spoil myself with all the earthly luxuries of the world, and you perhaps can live vicariously through me in an attempt to make your dull, frightening, and existential life perhaps not as dull, frightening, and existential. I also have this teddy bear that is not only adorable, but is a gift from my mother because I love my mom so much. So let the spoiling begin, shall we? And I am also aware that this is not technically the correct glass to drink wine from, but it is of my opinion that there is no incorrect glass with which to drink alcohol. So without further ado, let the pretentiousness begin. Let's start the festivities with the Dove chocolate. Let's see what message it has for you. Be beautiful. Live, love, Dove. Now what should we paint you as? I'm thinking something French. You thinking French? Yes, then it's settled then. I will paint you like one of my French girls. Now we can do this to whatever your level of comfortability is because consent is important. Let's get to Paris. Yes, I actually have had some exhibitions. I'm actually a very, very well-known, multi-talented artist. What gallery? Oh, it's one very far away from here. You probably wouldn't have heard of it. I'm really into like the underground art scene. You can be well known and be in the underground art scene. Yes, I found drinking and music to be very effective ways to run from my problems. But those aren't the only ways that you can run from your problems. Painting is a good option too, as we are discovering currently. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that you drink to solve your problems. I understand that that's what I do. Everybody picks their poison, you know. Some people do it through sex, some people do it through drugs, some people do it through gambling and music and art. Me, I like to do it through a combination of all of them. You should do as I say and not as I do, and if you have the need to run from any of your problems, I highly recommend that you go talk to someone before you end up like me. I don't suppose the way I've lived my life is necessarily the best course of action. That said, I am ridiculously talented in spite of all the obstacles that I face. Once I have the background set, then we can start getting to your glorious features. I'm thinking midday. Oh, that made green. The green is because there's a tornado coming. Another thing that you can do to take care of yourself is read or write a story. And even if you don't really think that you're a creative person, you might surprise yourself. It's not always about making a masterpiece, at least not at the beginning. Another way that people typically run from their problems is through overworking themselves. This one seems a little counterintuitive because if you're busy all day, you seem to be a functioning member of society. But the danger is that you start not spending time for yourself or withdrawing from your friends and family and can't turn to anyone for help because you haven't connected with any of your friends for years and years and years. Overworking yourself, also not the best bet in terms of living, but it will definitely help you run from your problems. You could also start a new life. You could always get a new identity. Think of it, one minute you're Joe the goat farmer, and then the next you're Mistress Croissant. You have a bunch of dangerous lovers, and you're running from the law. That's another, I believe, a very effective way to run from your problems. You probably have to be careful about any outstanding credit you might owe. As you can see in this painting, the sky is bleeding, and that is because I believe that the best way to run from our problems sometimes is to face them head on. Here we go. It's starting to come together. I can feel it. Can you feel it? I can feel the love tonight. Oh, that's a nice color. Of course, I meant for it to turn out that way. Do you ever feel like we're living in a simulation? I don't know, sometimes it just feels like some days I'm more myself than others, and sometimes I feel like I succeed very well on things that I should be able to do every day, but every once in a while it's like almost like someone else is rolling dice and I don't roll very high, and next thing I know I'm wandering around the street naked in a dumpster. I don't know. I'm caught trying to help someone watch their money. Why would that be a big deal? Well, that would be because some people on this earth, can you believe this? Some people misunderstand. When you're trying to help someone, they oftentimes think that you might be trying to steal from them. Can you believe? Unfortunately, we do live in a world where that is sometimes a necessity. Not that I would know what that's like, though. My family is very well off. Very well off indeed. That looks like Paris to me. Another thing that you can do to run from your problems is think about happy things. Let's list off some happy things. Puppies, dandelions, cats, jellyfish. This painting is going fucking horribly. Little caterpillars that turn into butterflies. Moss. Lots and lots and lots of money. Ice cream. The love of your life. Alive. How much money do you have? And where are you from? Nice. That's not too far from here, is it? Oh, it is pretty far from here, isn't it? Do you use the local bank? No reason. I was just wondering, you know, I use a credit union myself. I like to support small businesses. So, Paris, have you been there? You have. Tell me all about it. Now, did you frequent any of the local bars, shady establishments? How's that scene? You don't know? I mean, that's fair. I suppose you wouldn't. You are a person of class. I think it's time for wine. I dated a French girl once. Her name was Eclair. I'm not joking. Her name was Eclair. She was a tiefling like me. She was a baker's daughter. Their family hit tough times as well, and she moved out on the road, quite like I did, and wound up in the circus for a bit, doing a fortune-telling stint. Like many other things in my life, though, it had to come to an end because I spend most of my time on the road and can't always have time for relationships. Anyways, I dated a girl named Eclair, and if you are struggling in love, just stop. I know that it's hard to let go of our expectations when it comes to love and relationships because everybody wants to find their somebody, but love is not the end-all be-all of the world, and that's a lesson that I think many people have a hard time learning. Another important thing about relationships is that you need to know yourself first, and that may be trite, and I'm sure you've heard it before, but it is really, really true that you understand who you are, because in relationships, you can sometimes lose a sense of yourself, you know? If you're not careful and you're not really connecting with who you are and you're not spending time with yourself. The problem is that it can drown you. That's why I try to keep myself unattached. Mostly because I didn't have any real sense of myself for a very, very long time. And still don't. You ever just want to beat the devil out of yourself? I mean, the paint. It would be terrible if someone had a devil inside of them that they couldn't control, hung over them like a cloud of despair, leaving them with a sense of unknowing. I'm just measuring your proportions. Looks right to me. Other things that are really fun to do to take care of yourself are taking nice long baths and facial masks. I do enjoy a good face mask. It just leaves you feeling so refreshed. I read one time about a reflex that we all have because we're evolved from amphibians, and that it's basically that water scientifically calms us down, because when we are in water, we are not in danger, which doesn't make a lot of sense because every terrifying thing that I can think of 100% does exist in the water. I really am freaking out. In short, I think the lesson here is love yourself. We're almost done. Oh, I know you're going to love it. You should be so excited for this masterpiece. And I did what I said I was going to do. I painted you like one of my French girls. You're starting to remind me of Eclair. She was my original French girl, and like I said, she went to clown school too, so we were just clowns together. Horny clowns. Oh, I'm so excited for you to see Paris. Where should we go next? Venice? France? Paris is in France. Now don't be alarmed when you see some red in this grass. It's not blood, it's just art. Art knows it so. Art is not afraid of the consequences. Art cares about the global climate. Art wants you to do well on your math test. How can I keep this from fucking itself up? Art is here for you. Oh dear, I feel that this has spoken a lot about my unconscious mind. It's crazy the things that art will draw out of you when you aren't thinking and are greatly perturbed by things that have happened in your past. I'm still going for it. How can I rectify this? Oh, here I am, still ruining it. Sometimes as an artist, in order to get to the light, you have to get to the darkest places of your existence. I wanted this to be a sunset, but it looks like something else entirely. We are going to fix this before I have to admit to myself that I still have nightmares about burning down my hometown. Not Rhys von Kirschner. Rhys von Kirschner doesn't have nightmares about burning down their hometown village. No, Paris has a lot of very tall yellow buildings. Did you know that? You said you went to Paris, right? So surely you saw all the tall yellow buildings that are in Paris. There's not a lot of tall yellow buildings? Are you sure you went to Paris? The Paris I remember has lots of tall yellow buildings. That looks less terrible. I still wouldn't hang it on my wall because it belongs in a museum. While I'm putting the finishing touches on this, we do need to talk about payment. Yes, I'm an artist. I'm not just gonna do all this work for free. Yes, I said I was going to do this for you, but that doesn't mean that it was charity work. I'm thinking a piece like this could easily go for 250 gold, but I'm feeling really generous, and I could give it to you for around 100. Now with these final details, and I'd say it's about worth 150. No, I won't go for 125. I know my price, and it's not a lot in other areas of my life, but my art is worth much more than my worth as a human being. All right, we're settled? Excellent. And I guess it's time for you to see Paris. One last drink to celebrate a job well done. Magnificent. I present to you, oh lucky viewer, Portrait in Paris. I know you might be overwhelmed with emotion. I did, as I promised, and painted you like one of my French girls. Yes, my French girls wear bow ties, and they wear red berets, because that's like the thing in Paris, isn't it? Like all the yellow buildings that are definitely there. This is gonna be 250 gold. Okay, 150. Excellent. We are all settled up then. I hope you've enjoyed. Subscribe for more. Painting and singing and dancing and playing tambourine are not the only artistic things that I do. I am also, as they call it, an ASMR artist. And if you want to check out my most recent videos on that end, you can check out these. That will be on the screen right here. So, yeah. You should watch my videos.